Lella Lombardi, she loved the power of driving. But I think the real drive for her was because she was a woman.
Back in the day, they didn't believe that women should take part in male-dominant activities.
When Lella achieved what she did in 75,
women were not as much accepted into racing.
She's the reason why a lot of things that were thought impossible are now possible.
Italy's glamour girl of the circuits, Lella Lombardi, a rose among thorns in this race. She's the only lady driver.
Formula 1 è una cosa per la ragazza.
Visto che corro, giudicate voi.
Motorsport is like a drug.
you've got hooked. You just keep coming back.
If I could win this race, then I could win in many other races.
documentary to ever cover the women of Formula Racing. Please stand and give them a nice welcome to what they have accomplished for the women of Formula Racing here tonight. Where I want to start, as you know, my curiosity when these two reached out to me about tonight. I know a lot of people in here know Vincent and Rihanna. This is my first introduction. So in my journalistic research, I saw that you guys have made several films together, and kind of the lead is always a female protagonist. That tends to be your theme of what you want to bring out and showcase to an audience. How did you even come across this story?
Well, actually, I think the greatest inspiration you can get is going to a bookstore, believe it or not. Not for the internet. But yeah, we just walked into a bookstore and we, sure enough, we ran into this book that was a children's book. And flipping through the pages, you're going through the history of all these amazing women through our, decades that have gone by. And one woman that stuck out was Lella Lombardi. And the reason she stuck out is because Formula One, I did not know there was a woman in Formula One. So that needed to be unraveled. I shared that story with Rihanna. Instantly, we both clicked on it, and we're like, let's do this. And, from there, do you have anything to say on this? Because I can only take it that far.
I feel like we couldn't sleep for weeks because of the question of, Lella scored her half point in 1975. This project was only in development for the last 2 years. So we were up thinking to ourselves, why has no woman duplicated this in 45 plus years? What's going on? Like, how have I not heard her story? Who's next? What's holding us back? What's the problem here? And the questions wouldn't let us go. And so we started speaking to other female racers, and we were hooked. Contemporaries of Lella's, like Christine Beckers, a Belgian racer, she's still with us and told us these remarkable stories of what it was like to be a woman in the pits and down on the starting grid in the 70s, and what they went through just to give all of us a fighting chance is remarkable. And then we met the women that are out there racing today, and we said, hold up, we have to champion these women, because the more followers that they have, the more supporters, the more sponsors they'll get, the more exposure and opportunity that they will get. And quite frankly, that's all they need. They are not lacking in talent. They are not lacking in commitment. They're just purely needing someone to back them, to give them a chance, to open the door, and to give them money, quite frankly. And so your support of the film helps them with that, gives them a proper fighting chance.
During the course of, absolutely. Driver Courtney Crone joining us here at the special screening of Beyond Driven, and you've been driving since you were 4 years old. What led you to be a racing driver?
Initially, I got started with my dad. My dad was he drove some race cars back when he was around my age in the 70s and stuff, and, he didn't quite make it. So, when I was born, the first thing he got me into was a go-kart as soon as I could walk. And, after that, it just kind of took off and went from level to level to, the F4 car where we're at today.
What challenges have you faced as a female in motorsports?
I'd say the biggest challenge, just like any race car driver, is budget. A lot of people think being a female, it's easier to get budget, which really it's not, because, you have to think of what these partners and sponsors want. They focus their markets on specific things, and the big market in motorsports is all men. So, women products aren't most likely going to, establish their lines and stuff like that in motorsports, because it's not all women viewed. So it is a little bit more difficult for a woman to get partners and sponsors and more stuff like that in motorsports than it is for a general male.
Hi everyone, it's Amna Al-Kubaisi and I race in Formula 3.
Hi everyone, it's Hamda Al-Kubaisi and I race in Formula 4.
With everything going on and racing being on hold, we've missed you, our community, our fans so much.
We can't wait to reunite on the circuit, but in the meantime, we have exciting news to share.
This summer, a new documentary is being released about the legendary Lella Lombardi, the only female to score in F1.
The movie is called Beyond Driven, and we are proud to star in it as one of the drivers following her footsteps.
Follow Beyond Driven for more details.
So talking a bit more about Lella's story, Vincent, you were the one who actually found out about her story. But what I'm curious about is what made her story so special that you decided to choose her above, other great women out there? What made you choose it?
And with her story, with Lella Lombardi's story, I felt like it was a story about all women. It wasn't just for people who are into racing or people who are into cars. It was like a human story and a struggle that I think we can all relate to. And that to me felt like it was not only worth sharing, but worth putting on the big screen and giving people emotions to kind of relate to that topic.
So during this journey that you were talking about, what were some experiences that have stuck with you with Lella's niece, with all these drivers?
A really, really, really special moment for me was our final interview with Patrizia. And it was the final question. Patrizia, if there's anything that you could say to Lella or to the people watching that you want them to know about Lella, what would it be? And I'm feeling it right now. It was so poignant because she felt this gratitude for not just her aunt, but this iconic woman who raised the bar so high for everybody that followed. And Vincent said something about this earlier. Every single one of the drivers felt this same way, this sense of gratitude, of awe, of almost being watched over. And it was one of those moments where you could hear a pin drop in the room. That was a super special moment. And just to be witness to this incredible family and what was passed down.
At the age of 27, Formula One test driver Tatiana Calderon is setting her own lane. She became the first Latin American woman behind the wheel of an F1 car. She was the first female driver to win a national championship in Colombia for karting, and also won a national karting title in the US. And that's just a small breakdown of her many accomplishments. Hopefully not the last either. Recently, Tatiana is among the leading female drivers featured in the documentary Beyond Driven, which is available on video on demand. I'd like to welcome Tatiana Calderon to our show. Hi, welcome. I want to start off by asking you, it's like every kid's dream to be a race car driver, maybe along with an astronaut and firefighter. I'm wondering, how does one actually get into it? Everybody wants to do it, but how does one get into race car driving?
Well, to be honest, in my case, randomly, my sister took me to a rental go-kart track near our house we bought a 5-minute ticket, and I fall in love with the speed, with the adrenaline. And I think that's what we need to show. Sometimes people think, that it's more for male or for the boys. But actually, if you like it and you try it, you fall in love with it. So hopefully there'll be more girls seeing us and wanting to try it. And I think the most important thing is that you find your passion. And for me, it was quite early in life, so I've been very lucky.
How are you pushing for more women to be out there on the track and pursue their own racing dreams?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a long process. It doesn't come overnight, but I think in general, women are excelling now more in sports, and we're being given more opportunities. And I think that's what we need to do. So I'm also working with certain initiatives from the FIA Women in Motorsport Commission. It's also called Dare to Be Different, Girls on Track. So we are trying to show girls from schools since a very young age that motorsport is an option for them, not only as drivers but engineers, PRs, team managers. There is an option for them, and I think you have to try it to see if you like it, and this is a start. And obviously having role models. So of course, now I'm a test driver in Formula One. My goal is to race there one day. And I think if I make that last step, more girls will for sure watch Formula One, and then they see that it's possible. You have to believe and see it to believe it. So hopefully we can start to change that perception and get more girls into it, because I think we can do a great job.
I definitely think so too, and I do not doubt that you will get to the Formula One stage. Thank you so much, Tatiana.
Thanks for having me, and hope you watch the documentary and find out more about women in Formula One.
Hi everyone, Alice Powell here, racing driver in the W Series and the Jaguar I-Pace E-Trophy. I do have some exciting news to share with you all, and that is that this summer a new documentary is being released about the legendary driver Lella Lombardi. She was the first and only woman to score points in Formula One. The movie is called Beyond Driven, and I'm proud to star alongside many other fantastic female racing drivers. Be sure to check the listings in your country for release, but you can also pre-order on iTunes as well. Be sure to follow Beyond Driven on their social media for all the details, and I'll see you on the big screen.